We've got that hearing for the CEOs for Facebook, Apple, Google, and Amazon. That's going to happen on Wednesday. It was supposed to happen today, but Congressman Lewis is lying in state at the Capitol, and so they moved that testimony to Wednesday. We're joined now by our editor-in-chief, Andy Serwer, for more on this. Andy, going to be all eyes on, especially like Jeff Bezos. This is the first time Amazon CEO, I think, is going to go before lawmakers for questioning. You expect some fireworks?
That's correct. It is the first time Bezos is going to appear before Congress. The first time these four people have ever been together, although they're not really going to be together, unfortunately, because it's a virtual testimony format. There's a lot of different subplots here. This is the culmination of a year's worth of work by the subcommittee of the Judiciary Committee, headed by David Cicilline, who is a congressman from Rhode Island, who has had big tech in his crosshairs for a while. Matt Gaetz is also on the committee on the Republican side, as well as Val Demings, potential vice president, running mate of Joe Biden. So a lot of firepower here. And, you know, one commentator that I spoke to said last time that Tim Cook, for instance, appeared before Congress, the lawmakers were oohing and aahing over the iPhone like Justin Bieber, teenager, the Justin Bieber concert, she said. So not going to be like that this time.
Annie, you mentioned in your story, you referenced that these are the four amigos, but the reality is they're not necessarily friends. You've talked to all four of them before. Do they get along? Do they like each other?
No, I mean, they get along. And again, you won't see the dynamic because they're not going to be sitting at the same table, which is too bad, as Congressman Buck told me last week. But what's interesting is that they don't like being grouped together. And who can blame them? Because they're all like, they're the bad guy, not me, them, not me. We're different. We're completely separate. And in a way, you know, they have a point. I mean, there's sort of this man on the moon perspective, you guys. On the one hand, they're all the same. On the other hand, when you look a little bit more closely, they're all very different. I mean, you know, they're in different businesses. Apple likes to really distance itself, for instance, saying that, you know, we make products and software. We don't collect and monetize data, or we don't monetize data in the same way that, say, Facebook and Google do. Amazon says we're a retailer. Facebook is more sort of has caught the attention of lawmakers more. So interesting sort of subplots that way as well.
There's actually some news out about one of those FANGs this morning, Andy, and I'd like to get your take on it. There are reports that Google is going to allow its employees to work from home until July of 2021 because of the pandemic. Do you think that we're going to see more Silicon Valley companies, especially as the coronavirus rages there in California, will more of those companies do the same?
Well, this is sort of the magic of the Silicon Valley business model, right? Alexis, for better or for worse. I mean, Google doesn't make any physical products, right? And so they can afford to allow people to work from home, and it shouldn't diminish the quality of anything that they provide for their customers because it's a software business. So that's the beauty of it. They're very fortunate that they're able to do that. They have these high-paid knowledge workers who are able to work from their homes, and very different from, say, a meat packing factory, isn't it? Where people actually, of course, physically need to be there. So they're lucky. And I think that, you know, we'll probably see more of this, but it does speak to the bifurcation in our economy and our society for sure.